Hi, thank you for tuning into my webinar called Secret Sauce, How to Become an In-Demand Speaker in the Events Industry. If you're tuning into this particular webinar, it's probably because you received a link from my live webinar. So just to recap, this is going to be the 5-minute version of what I took an hour to do in person. So the number one tip, don't make you wait very long for it, is to know your goal, right? You have to get super focused on why you're here, why you're even wanting to pursue this particular line of career that other people actively avoid. People actively avoid speaking in public. So there's got to be a reason that you woke up today and said, I want to do this. This is something I actually want to do. So give that some thought, because that's going to give you some clarity into how to proceed. And when you're out there in the world and creating your proposal, just keep in mind that it's important to create a submission to the key decision maker that is complete and clear. People sometimes try to shortcut this. You can't. You can't shortcut a really great resume. And included in that is to identify the goals. I think that sometimes people want to generalize why people are going to learn something today, but no, be clear on your deliverables. That's going to be very key in making this a no-brainer for someone to book you. And identify your why. Identify why your perspective on this particular topic is something that people might want to learn about and hear from. And as you're going through and you're filling out your applications, remember that you don't want to be too humble, right? You definitely want to give people enough of a reason, enough of a valid reason that you are the expert in design, or you want to speak on technology trends, or that you're a great salesperson. This would be the time to tell people that you have broken through so many sales goals in your career. This is not the time to say that that you're a championship bowler. Well, that doesn't really have anything to do with sales if that's what you're presenting on. But on the flip side, make sure you're not telling people too much of a good thing. If you are presenting on creative design, then I don't think that people necessarily need to know that you graduated with an MA in accounting. It's a great thing. Fantastic. Good. It's a wonderful thing to have on your resume in general. But what people really need to know is how your perspective on design is going to be really helpful to them. And, hyperbole, superlatives are a great thing. We were all voted most likely to something or other in high school, but this isn't high school anymore. So let's go ahead and try to tone down that, you're the greatest, you're the premier, you are the most, because this is all just razzle dazzle. And really, unless it's qualified by something really concrete, like unless there was like some sort of a contest or judging process, and that is what named you the greatest or the most, try to avoid that. And when you're going out there and trying to develop a speaker topic, remember to learn to ask people in your circle. Learn to ask them about what it is they want to hear. People don't do that, I think, frequently enough. They go out there and they kind of, throw pasta at the wall, and they're hoping something's going to stick. When in the reality is, you could just talk to 5 people in your industry about what it is that's important to them and what they want to hear about. And make sure you're asking yourself those same questions. What do you care about? What drives you crazy? And who is your target audience? Sometimes people kind of overthink this particular topic. Who is their target audience? But guess what? If you can name 5 people in the industry that you would have gone out and asked those questions of, you have instantly identified your target audience. Not that difficult of a task. And make sure that you're practicing. Develop your style, hone your message, go out there, have those conversations, practice, and learn from the conversations that you're having. Because ultimately what you really need to do is find your tribe. Remember that your presentation is not going to be for everyone, but you definitely want to identify who your presentation is for and get out and connect with those people. And that, of course, means getting out there, right? Like, this can't all be in your head. You have to get out there and start presenting to a room full of people, or on a webinar, or Facebook Live, or whatever whatever medium you've chosen. But the content needs to exist, and it can't just exist in concept, because this is all about building your experience. Because once you have a resume that states, that you're presenting here, or that you have a podcast, or that you have a YouTube channel, or that you have a blog, or however it is that you're delivering your content, then it becomes a no-brainer. Then you get known for your particular signature, and that is how you are going to become in demand, because people are going to want to know what you have to say. Thanks so much for tuning into this webinar. I know you thought this would be longer, but it isn't. There you go, and have a great afternoon. Thanks for tuning in.